Hey guys, it's Philip with High Desert Community Watch, and I'm here as I promised with the father of Desmond Phillips, and he's gonna tell you guys and update you guys on what's going on with this case and let you guys know everything that happened. So, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is David Phillips. I'm the father of Desmond Phillips, who was murdered
Yeah,
March 17th, 2017.
and can you give us the breakdown from that video that we saw? Let us know what happened with that, and then also what subsequently happened, and where your son was murdered in front of you guys. If you can tell us the whole story, the people would love to hear it.
Absolutely. From the video that we just released, and that was from Sacramento, Desmond's first encounter ever in life. He was 24 years old at the time. His first encounter ever with law enforcement. He was having a mental crisis. He was in a mental crisis, and Sacramento PD. He was actually over by the light rail in a fetal position praying, and Sacramento PD approached him, and he was asked his name. And mind you, he's in the middle of a mental crisis. He was asked his name, and he didn't respond. He didn't respond quick enough, and that ended up with his face down. It was in the summer on the asphalt, and it burnt half of his face off. But that encounter there landed him in ICU for 4 days. So what they did was when they first initially made contact with him out there, he was non-responsive, and they kicked his butt out there. And then they took him to Sacramento County to the garage, and they further beat him in the garage. That's the video that we had
Posted.
we released. And I hired him a lawyer, and they kept not wanting to give up the video. But when they did give that video up, they edited a lot of the video. So, I mean, if you think that that's bad, what you viewed, just imagine what they took out. You know, they took some parts out of there. Now, as far as us, the family, me, the dad, we have not watched the video. You know, every by the advice of our team members and friends, they say don't watch the video, and I have not watched that video today. I've had that video for 4 years. I've not watched it today, and I think it's time that it was released out in the public. And again, where that I understand that the cop had his knee on Desmond's neck for 17 minutes, but I do know that that landed Desmond in ICU for
Yeah,
4 days.
yeah, that was a horrible video. Horrible video.
That's what everyone is saying. And so, after that, I moved him up to Chico, California, with me, thinking my son would be, safer. And then I was going to court for what they did to him in Sacramento. He'd had several mental issues here in Chico, and the cops that murdered Desmond that night, they were the cops that first came out, the first time they ever came out, and they handcuffed him and hog tied him, and we got into a big ass argument because they was roughing him up, and this kid, he had fell in the bathtub and hit his head. He was in a mental crisis. You don't treat people like that.
Yeah,
So he had had several more at different times where they had came, ambulance had came, and the police, they came as well, because this is a little small racist community, Butte County, where we live in. And they, Desmond was taken to the hospital. He was taken there, without any violence or nothing like that. So the police that murdered Desmond, they were aware that Desmond had mental issues. So on the night of March 17th, he was in the early phase of having a mental crisis. I called the ambulance, which I've done in the past, and Desmond has been taken to the hospital, or somewhere where he can get treatment. And this night here, the ambulance came. I called the ambulance. The ambulance and fire department came. They walked in the house, and Desmond had on a pair of earphones, his phone in his hand, and some glasses. They took the earphones off. They took the glasses off without saying anything to him. And they grabbed him by his arm and said, "Come on, you want to go to the hospital?" When they grabbed Desmond by the arm, Desmond jerked away. So the fire department and the ambulance walked outside. We have two doors. We have the main door and we have a screen door. So they walked outside, right outside the door, and they were talking about calling the police. So Desmond heard that, and Desmond went and shut the front door, the main door. The screen door was still left open. So when they said they were calling the police, Desmond went in the kitchen and grabbed two knives. He grabbed a butter knife and a vegetable knife. And after watching that video, you can understand why.
Oh, yes.
He was afraid of the cops. But and I called them back and I told them, I said, my son has two knives, and I don't want you guys to be coming in here talking about you're surprised, or you know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
And I don't want you guys to come in here shoot my son and this and that. So, really, I guess I gave them the green light to do what they did. So when they came, they surrounded the house. They did not knock on the door. They did not announce themselves, Chico, police, open the door, or anything like that. My two grandsons was in the other room. And we were all locked in the room, you know what I mean? Because we're new to this PTSD. We don't know. I was afraid for my son. I wanted my baby to get help. So what they did was they came, those same officers, and they've been there 3 or 4 times before. They came. They had their guns drawn. 2 of them went around the back, and they had to go through my neighbor's yard to get to my backyard. Now, my neighbor's window was open, and one of the cops leaned in her window, and this is her statement, that leaned in her window and said, "Stay inside and stay down. Stay inside and stay down." And so she got her son, took him and put him in the bathtub, and she said in her statement, immediately afterwards, she heard multiple gunshots. So what they did was they sprayed the dog. My dog, we had a little German Shepherd. They sprayed the dog, and so they radio up front, we're making entry into the kitchen because the sliding door was unlocked. And as soon as they said that front door come flying open, and mind you, they said absolutely nothing to Desmond. They said nothing. They didn't say, "Desmond, put your hands up," or "you'll be tased or shot," or "Desmond, get on the ground," or "Desmond, we're here to help you." They said absolutely nothing. They kicked that door in within 2 seconds. Man, it was four active shooters that I've seen that were shooting my son. And I'm old school. I'm still thinking that they're carrying like 8 rounds per clip. No. These officers now, they're carrying 15 rounds per officer.
How many times do you remember your son getting shot? Roughly.
I was right there, man. I seen they shot my baby. Desmond's 6'1" and a half, 160 pounds. They shot my baby. Man, they shot him from every direction. He had nowhere to go. And the police that tased him, he said the taser didn't work, so he kept squeezing the trigger. I have photos of my son's body. I have photos where he's burnt down to the raw meat. All his whole groin area, both legs, he's burnt to the raw meat. So basically, this is a picture of what they were doing. they were basically cooking my son alive while shooting him from every direction. Desmond caught everything in the head, the face.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Take your time. Take your time, Mr. Phillips.
And they shot him in the face, the mouth, the neck, and multiple gunshot wounds to the head. I looked at my son's eyes. I looked at his face. He was dead before he hit the ground. He didn't have. They gave him absolutely no chance whatsoever, man. They shot that kid. They flat out murdered him. They murdered him in cold blood. They didn't say nothing to my baby. They just murdered him. And after that, I crawled to him. I crawled to my son on the floor because I was hollering, no, what are you doing? No. And I crawled on my head and feet to the baby. And the one cop, I seen him unload his gun. It clicked back. It was automatic. It clicked back when it was empty. He unloaded my son. He unloaded his gun and my baby when he was down. He was dead. He was gone. And the coroner's office, they backed that up. I told them that before the coroner report even came out. I said, man, they were shooting my son. Every bullet hole in my apartment, which I am still in, I look at the bullet holes every day. I walk over to the spot where my child died, and the bullet holes are a foot from the floor high. Desmond is 6'1". The DA says, he tried to charge the officers. I was there. The DA was not there. And he's made up so many different stories. But if Desmond had got up and tried to charge them, he's 6'1.5". Them bullet holes are a foot from the floor. He would have been shot in the ankle,
Yes.
or in the lower leg, something. And then there's bullet holes from all directions in my apartment right now to date. And they just murdered him in cold blood, and it was a hate crime. One of the officers, I don't know if you've seen the pictures of that's on our page where the one cop, right after murdering my son, he's being questioned by the city of Chico, and he took a photo, and he's sitting there smiling, like he's taking a family portrait. He was very proud. And later on, after that, he changed out of his uniform and changed into his street clothes, and he puts on a T-shirt stylizing the Confederate flag. So he was showing his real colors that night. But again, man, Desmond, they didn't give him a chance. They said absolutely nothing to him, no commands. They knew what they were going to do, and then they said, well, we were worried about the family. Why did you shoot up our apartments? I had two grandsons in there, and they're yelling at me when I crawled to my son, get back. And the one that unloaded, Officer Fleer, that I seen his gun locked back, I seen 4 active shooters, and plus the taser, the officer that tased him. But when he yelled at me, I was like, what am I to do? What am I to get my grandkids out of here or go to my dying child? Are they going to murder us next, or do I get my I didn't know what to do. I had to get my grandkids out of there and just leave my baby there. They just murdered him bad. They shot him. Everything was in the upper body, the head, the face, the neck, the mouth. They pierced his heart. They said nothing. 2 seconds. 2 seconds, man. There's like 5 witnesses, and my one witness is right next door. He said what disturbed him is that they had their guns drawn and they were laughing and joking before they kicked the door in.
I believe it.
Yeah. But see, the thing of it is that we have videos of them being questioned that night that we posted on our page, and I encourage everybody please share Justice with Desmond Phillips on regular Facebook. Go to it and go down and just read, and you can see live video of the cops being questioned that night after they murdered Desmond. And it was their regular shift, so no one was like tired or anything like that. They were on their regular shifts, and listen to their stories, and you can just tell none of their stories match up. None of them. None of the cops' stories matched up. They had one sergeant that said he seen Desmond do a chicken dance after he was tased. The other one that tased him said the taser didn't work, but the sergeant didn't clock in till 10 minutes after Desmond was already dead. He didn't get there on scene until 10 minutes after Desmond was dead. And he made a statement that he seen Desmond do a chicken dance. So how the hell can you do that and you wasn't even there? It just goes to show you how they will lie for each other.
Oh yes, sir. So now, Mr. Phillips, what is it that you want from our public besides going? Because we definitely need to raise awareness. I will put the link for the Facebook page. Did you also want people to call the Attorney General? Is that what you spoke to me about?
Yes, and we went to the state, the Attorney General here in the state, and they're all, we just had to go through the motions because they all have the murder case there. We have facts, photos, videos, but they all turned it down. Even in in Sacramento when we went to court. So we want people to call Christian Clark, the new appointed
Attorney General,
civil rights attorney for the DOJ in Washington, and we want people to call the Attorney General in Washington that's just been appointed, and ask people to ask them or the organization or whatever to have a look at Desmond's case. All we want them to do is just look at it, because when they look at it, they'll open that case up. We had to fire the civil rights attorney because he didn't want to present all the evidence. He wanted me to just go after the two cops and the one that tased Desmond. He wanted me to just go after them and leave the other two out that I saw shooting my son too. I'm not leaving anybody out. I was there. I'm an eyewitness. My two grandsons are eyewitnesses. They were in the apartment as well. And there's 5 neighbors that are witnesses as well. Excessive force. And like I said, this is a hate crime, and we want it treated as such, as a capital murder, because we're calling it what it is, and for somebody to see their child murdered, and these guys if you check out their demeanor after, when you look on our page and see the live video of them being questioned, just check out their demeanor. It's like they did nothing. It's like it's just another day at the job. They were laughing and joking then in the interview, and you just took a child's life. You just murdered someone.
Unfortunately, Mr. Phillips, most of law enforcement has been trained to be a hammer to society, and a hammer only knows how to smash. They don't have no couth, there's no caressing involved. It's just they treat everything like a nail, and we need to get officers like that off of our streets.
Yeah, and my thing is this, the evidence, the facts, videos, everything is right there. And, there's so many thousands and thousands of us that don't get national attention, and don't get, like George Floyd or what's his name?
The bigger cases, yeah.
Yes, the bigger cases, but there's thousands of us, and this case here is solid. It's solid. If anybody looks at it, take the time to look at it, and want to do the right thing, and they would these guys would be charged, and there's so many of us out there, like I said. But when they say you need video, you need evidence, you need facts, we have all that. So the Attorney General in Washington, and again Christian Clark, we ask people, and that's what I'm asking people to call them or whatever you need to do to flood their lines and let them know that, hey, here's a case, boom, that needs to be looked at. Here's a case that's a solid case. And they could try this case and they would win hands down. Because anybody, a jury, I don't care, anybody that looks at this case and look at them cops and all the evidence and facts. See, my team, the Justice for Desmond PHILLIPS team, we did all the work. We did all the homework. We collected all the evidence, facts, this and that. We didn't have no lawyer to do that. And we've been working on this. This is a little over 4 years now. But everything is there, is solid. I'm going to be making some copies of on a hard drive of some quick facts for people to, look at, people of authority that can actually do something about it, that will do something about it. So I would ask everyone to call into the Attorney General's office and Christian Clark, especially because that is where our power is going to start coming from now that she's elected.
Yes, sir. So everyone that's listening, please get involved. If anytime we need help to bring awareness to something that has happened, such a tragedy, this is it. We want justice for Desmond PHILLIPS. I want to thank Mr. PHILLIPS for giving us the time. Is there anything else you would like to say, Mr. PHILLIPS?
I would just like for people to just go to our page and just look. And just like we shared that video, I would like for you to look at videos of the cops tonight that they murdered my son, their stories. Because I like people to look at this stuff and view it. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Not hear it come from me. I like for them to look at it, view it, and make their own minds up. You know what I mean?
Yes,
and
sir.
that way, they'll know.
Okay, guys. Yes, guys. So we'll leave the Facebook link in the description and also in the comment section. I will pin it, and let's help get awareness to this case. I mean, maybe any attorneys out there, if you know any attorneys that might take on this, please let them know to at least go to the Facebook page and look at all the facts and everything. Mr. PHILLIPS, we want to say thank you, and we all want to say we are so sorry that you had to witness such a tragedy. I could not imagine the feelings that you are still going through. I could tell by the way when you told the story, you still relive it in your mind. I'm so sorry you had to do that today for us, but it was necessary to let the people know. I could not tell the people the way you did, and hopefully somebody hears your plea and will come and help you guys. And anything else that you ever need from us, Mr. PHILLIPS, you let us know, and we will be happy to help you.
Okay, just one more quick thing. Some of the cops that murdered Desmond March 17th, a couple of months later, the same cops, they murdered a young man named Tyler Rushing. You guys can check that case out as well. I mean, some of the same cops murdered him a couple of months later.
Sounds like we have cops that are waging war on our cities.
They have priors. These cops here have priors. What they do is, real quick, and then I'll let you go, is that what Chico, Butte County does is they hire cops from different counties that have been involved in police shootings. Like Cumber, the one that tased Desmond, he's been in 3. He's been in Desmond, one out in L.A. He moved to Chico. And he's been in 2 in Chico, involved in 2 killings in Chico. And, the other, the Chief O'Brien, they did a RICO act in L.A. See, what they were sheriffs, and then they got in trouble, and so then they came down, to a different county, which was Chico, and became Chico City Police. So that's what they do. They get in trouble, but these guys have priors. Prior murders under their belt.
Oh yeah, that blue line family takes care of each other for sure, sir.
Yeah, that's what Chico does. They hire rogue cops, and it's very racist. I mean, it's very racist up here on the police force. So
I think I'm gonna have to come visit you soon, Mr. PHILLIPS.
Absolutely, I would love that.
Okay.
And thank you, my brother, for taking the time to share this story and giving us any type of exposure we can get on it. I just appreciate you.
Yes, sir. You have my number, and anything else that you ever need, or if you just need to talk, you use that number, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
You have a blessed day. You guys, please help the Phillips family and help us get exposure to this and spread the word. Tell all your friends to go look at that Facebook page. Since we're all on our phones and on the web anyways, we might as well go look at something that's worth looking at. Please go look at the Facebook page, Justice for Desmond Phillips. Mr. Phillips, you have a blessed day, and I will keep in contact with you. Okay, sir?
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. It is a community watch, guys. I'm out.